M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. And that's not going to be returned, as so many kicking teams elect to do. This is past the landing zone, and we'll start at the 30. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. The NFL's leading rusher in 2019 and 2020, Derrick Henry. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at 2nd down. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. But we know this guy is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Hey, middle.
Now Jackson. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. Now it's Jackson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. Back deep is Steven Sims. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Now, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Henry up the middle. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Henry again on 2nd down. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Here's Jackson to throw. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. The Raven passing game getting in sync. Another 1st down. Here's Jackson. And he'll go right back to Andrews. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, 40 yards. And the Ravens will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
And what a weapon he is at the tight end spot, because when they throw him the football downfield, they count on him getting additional yardage almost every time. And that's exactly what he did there. Caught that, ran with it, all the way to the end zone.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got a look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. From the gun, Jackson. Looking deep here for Flowers. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. In motion left, Bateman. Jackson now. To the right side and intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them...
Now 2nd and 3. Inside handoff, Henry able to power through, and he gets this inside the 35-yard line. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Now it's Jackson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Here's 2nd and 10. They go play action now. Jackson sliding out of the pocket. He throws it on the move but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
Partner, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw is Jackson. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. The Jackson to Bateman there for the Baltimore first.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so he didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Jackson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Zay Flowers, a 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Ravens have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Tucker with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that will bring up 2nd down. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. Ball on the 36 now. Here's a 2nd and 4. Jackson. That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Roquan Smith. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. Wow, this one, it is getting out of hand early. They add a pick 6 to the ledger now. 3-score lead still in the first half.
And all that celebrating that you see and hear from those defenders, it's not just because they scored a touchdown on a pick 6. It's because they're pitching a shutout in this one. Every defender's dream.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. The Georgia man, Roquan Smith, came in and got him.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Now Jackson going to shift him around. Second down, they go again with Henry. And once again, they stop him behind the line. Great job by this Ravens defense. 1 yard is the loss. They back up even further to a 3rd and 15. A tall task ahead of them here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be. And now it's 4th down.
Well, partner, given where that drive started, that's an excellent job defensively to force them into 4th down.
So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. And he's gonna miss this one. Wide to the left from distance. It's no good, and the lead will hold at 3 touchdowns.
And now 2 problems as I see it. First, you missed the kick, which granted was a long one. But second, you set the other guys up with great field position and enough time to maybe get downfield and get a field goal attempt of their own.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. And the Ravens are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in the second quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one, and they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception, tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a second one.
Throwing is Jackson. That's going deep for Bateman. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Oh, that's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
2nd and 10.
We change it.
In motion, Aguilar. Play action. It's Jackson. A check down here for Henry. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Jackson from the shotgun. He's got it at the 15. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews in the final seconds of the first half. And the Ravens continue to pull away here in this first half. Tucker with the extra point. And a rout is on here in this first half. So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback. And we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And with 5 seconds to go, this will likely be our final play. Aguilar in motion left. Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. And that's caught inside the 35. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
Justin Tucker for the extra point. He's got it to bring it back to 28-7 now. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the third quarter. And we will not see a return of the dynamic kickoff. And the first drive of the second half will commence from the 30-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that,
for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Picked up by Brandon Stevens. And the Ravens are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Now that one is going to sting. First play of the third quarter and a turnover.
And you have to know that at halftime, they spent a lot of time going through their checklist of what they wanted to accomplish to start this third quarter. Turning it over like this was not on that list.
Not at all. And you come out of the locker room trailing, so that first drive to establish momentum is very key.
Crucial.
In motion right, one of the tight ends. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Henry again on second down. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 43 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Tenth carry now for Derrick Henry. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now they run the option on second down. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there and worked out well.
How about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. Play action. Now Jackson. Flush to his right. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
And Brandon, this is the time of the game when Jackson could really take over. He's got the defense's legs a little bit tired, and he's got him on the run.
Yeah, this defense looks gassed, and you're exactly right. Second half with the lead, this is when Lamar Jackson seems to thrive. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They go play action with Jackson. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Operating from the gun. Jackson being chased out left. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. And a defensive-minded coach loves to turn up the heat, turns it up there, it pays off.
And back in the good old days, those defensive-minded coaches just talked about intimidating teams, using force, right, beating them to the punch. In this case, they're talking about creating turnovers. That's all they preach, all game long, all practice long, every meeting. Get the football. That's what they want.
To throw again on 2nd down. Jackson over the middle, complete. It's Flowers. And he'll be brought down at what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jackson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the linebacker, Kyle Van Noy. Well, all I can do up here is just shake my head. I mean, 6 interceptions. I cannot imagine what he's thinking between the ears right now.
Well, just think of how it is for his teammates, because after the first few, you know they're going over to him, hey, we'll get them next time. Now they're probably a little bit frustrated. And if you're a receiver, you're thinking to yourself, any ball that's in the air, you become receiver and defensive back. You've got to go compete for the ball so that you don't get another one picked off.
After the interception, here's Jackson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
Now a handoff to Henry. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Here's 3rd and 9. Looking to throw. Jackson. Touchdown! Rashad Bateman on the touchdown throw from Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the 4th. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. This throw taken in by Isaiah Likely. And all the way down to the 26. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 44 yards. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football. They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they've forced in this runaway contest.
Now a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Jackson. Forced out to his left. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception to his ledger.
Buying time to his left. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And it's a defensive return for a late touchdown. So they still need somewhat of a miracle here, but at least that gets them a little bit closer. Jackson and the Ravens still on the field. They'll go for 2.
Ravens will line up for the 2-point conversion.
They'll look to throw. And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. A short one there, caught by Likely. 7 yards there and a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, you can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
They go play action here on first down. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess? He didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do.
Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over. And
now here is another interception. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And the Ravens are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. The number 7 usually lucky here, not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he'd won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001, to throw 7 picks.
Belt the ass.
So the final seconds tick away.